Life is a journey, and along this journey, we face moments of joy and ease, as well as moments of difficulty and struggle. But have you ever wondered why you face certain challenges in life? Why do your prayers go unanswered, or why life seems heavier at times? As believers, it's important to recognize that these moments are not random. They are carefully designed by Allah Azza wa Jal as tests. Tests that purify us, strengthen our faith, and prepare us for a greater purpose. In today's video, we'll explore 5 different signs that Allah is testing you, and we'll reflect on how to navigate these challenges with patience, faith, and gratitude. Number 1. Facing hardships or calamities. Have you ever faced a moment where everything in your life seemed to fall apart? Life is filled with challenges, and sometimes these difficulties seem overwhelming. These hardships can take the form of financial struggles, health issues, or emotional turmoil. However, as believers, we are reminded that such trials are not punishments but a way for Allah to purify us, strengthen our faith, and bring us closer to Him. Allah said in the Qur'an, "And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient, who, when disaster strikes them, say, indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return." This verse encapsulates the essence of patience. Allah acknowledges that we will experience fear, hunger, and loss, but He gives hope to those who endure with patience, trusting that all they have belongs to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, said, "When Allah loves a servant, He tests him. If he accepts it patiently, Allah draws him closer, and whoever complains earns His wrath." Imagine enduring a stormy night. It's dark, cold, and frightening, but you know that dawn will come. Similarly, hardships in life are temporary, no matter how intense they may feel. They serve as reminders of our dependence on Allah and an opportunity for self-reflection and spiritual growth. Imagine this: a goldsmith places raw gold in a furnace. Why? To purify it. Similarly, Allah places us in the furnace of trials to purify our hearts, to strip away arrogance, and to draw us closer to Him. Your calamity isn't a punishment, it's a path to something greater. But the question is, will you respond with patience or despair? When faced with calamities, a believer's response should be patience and gratitude. Every tear shed in hardship is rewarded, every struggle endured is recorded. Even the smallest act of turning to Allah in such moments strengthens the bond between the Creator and His creation. Number 2. Delays in dua being answered. Have you ever raised your hands in dua, with tears streaming down your face, begging Allah for something you desperately need, only to feel as though your prayers aren't being answered? Have you ever poured your heart out in dua, hoping for an immediate response, only to feel that your prayers go unanswered? This can be one of the most challenging tests, as it can lead to doubt creeping into the heart. However, Allah assures us that He hears every supplication, and His timing is always perfect. Allah said in the Qur'an, "Or who answers the distressed one when he calls upon Him and removes evil and makes you inheritors of the earth? Is there a deity with Allah? Little do you remember. And when my slaves ask you, O Muhammad, concerning me, indeed I am near to them by my knowledge. I respond to the invocations of the supplicant when he calls on me, without any mediator or intercessor." Allah assures us that He hears the call of the distressed. But sometimes, the delay in the response is part of the test. Will you remain steadfast in your dua, trusting that Allah's timing is better than your own? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, clarified the wisdom behind delays. No Muslim supplicates to Allah with a dua that does not involve sin or severing family ties, except that Allah grants it in one of 3 ways: He hastens its response, stores it for the hereafter, or averts a calamity of equivalent magnitude. Think of your dua like planting a seed. You water it daily, nurture it with sunlight, and wait. Sometimes the plant blooms immediately, but other times it takes weeks or months. Delays in answered duas are a test of faith. Will you continue to trust Allah's wisdom, or will you give up? Allah answers prayers in ways we may not understand. He might delay a response to strengthen our persistence, replace what we ask for with something better, or save the reward for the hereafter. This delay is a test of your patience, a reminder to trust that Allah knows what is best for you. Before we continue to number 3, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel for the sake of Allah. Number 3. Temptations to sin. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where sin feels so easy, so tempting, and yet you feel a tug in your heart reminding you to resist? This is one of the greatest tests Allah places before us. Temptations to commit sin are among the most subtle and dangerous tests. They can manifest in the form of desires, wealth, relationships, or opportunities to stray from the straight path. Allah tests our ability to resist these temptations to evaluate the strength of our faith and our love for Him over fleeting worldly pleasures. Allah said in the Qur'an, "And know that your wealth and your children are but a trial, and that Allah has with Him a great reward." The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us about the nature of temptations. Paradise is surrounded by hardships, and hell is surrounded by desires. Every temptation you resist is a victory for your soul. It's a declaration that your love for Allah outweighs your love for fleeting pleasures. Each time you say no to sin, you are building your palace in Jannah. Imagine standing at a fork in the road. One path is paved, lined with flowers, and seems easy to walk on. The other is rocky and steep, requiring effort and resilience. The paved path is the path of temptation, leading to destruction, while the rocky path leads to eternal bliss. Imagine being offered a glittering jewel, only to realize it's fake. Sin is like that, a fleeting pleasure that leads to regret. But resisting it brings you closer to Allah, and that closeness is worth more than any temporary gain. Every time you resist the urge to engage in haram, whether it's earning wealth through unlawful means, indulging in prohibited relationships, or neglecting your prayers, you are passing a test from Allah. Remember, every act of self-restraint is a victory for your soul and a step closer to paradise. Number 4. Experiencing loss or grief. The loss of a loved one, wealth, or status is one of the most painful tests Allah can give. It shakes us to the core and forces us to reflect on the temporary nature of this world. However, for the believer, these moments are opportunities to reaffirm trust in Allah's plan. Allah said in the Qur'an, "Do you think that you will enter paradise while such trial has not yet come to you as came to those who passed on before you? They were touched by poverty and hardship and were shaken until, even their messenger and those who believed with him said, 'When is the help of Allah?' Unquestionably, the help of Allah is near. The Prophet Muhammad, may peace of Allah be upon him, said, 'No fatigue, nor disease, nor sorrow, nor sadness, nor hurt, nor distress befalls a Muslim, even if it were the prick he receives from a thorn, but that Allah expiates some of his sins for that.' Loss is a painful reminder that this life is temporary. It forces us to detach from material possessions and focus on what truly matters, our relationship with Allah. Each tear, each moment of grief is not wasted, rather, it is a source of purification. Grieving is natural, but a believer tempers it with the understanding that Allah is Al-Hakim, the wise. Whatever He takes away, He replaced it with something better, either in this life or the hereafter. Number 5. Feeling distant from Allah. Have you ever felt like your prayers are empty, your heart is heavy, and your connection to Allah is fading? This is one of the most subtle yet significant tests. Your prayers feel empty, your heart feels heavy, and acts of worship feel more like a routine than a connection. Indeed, with hardship will be ease. So when you have finished your duties, then stand up for worship, and to your Lord direct your belonging. The Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and mercy of Allah be upon him, encouraged renewal of faith. Faith wears out in the heart of anyone just as clothes wear out, so ask Allah to renew the faith in your hearts. Spiritual dryness is not a punishment, it's an invitation. Feeling distant from Allah is not a sign that He has abandoned you, rather, it is a call to return to Him with sincerity. Just as a thirsty person appreciates water more after a drought, a believer's faith can deepen after experiencing spiritual dryness. Engage in acts of worship with renewed intention. Read the Qur'an, make zikri, and increase your good deeds. Every step you take toward Allah, He takes multiple steps toward you. This test is not the end, it's an opportunity to revive your soul. Tests are a part of life, designed by Allah to help us grow spiritually and earn eternal rewards. remember the powerful words of Allah. Indeed, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. So when you face a test, face it with patience, prayer, and unwavering trust in Allah. After all, every test is a chance to grow closer to Him and a step closer to paradise. Remember, every hardship carries with it a hidden blessing, and with every test comes ease. May Allah, in His infinite mercy, grant us paradise.